Welcome back. We are here again, surrounded by these dense and sometimes really impenetrable texts.
Hmm.
And our job, as always, is to try and drag them out of the clouds and see if they can actually survive on the ground level of, messy, real human life.
See if they work.
Yeah, exactly. And today we're tackling a feeling that I think every single person listening has felt probably in the last 24 hours.
Oh, I argue it's the defining tension of the modern experience.
Right. It's this bizarre vibrating tension between two completely opposite states of mind.
Completely opposite.
So on one side, you have the weight,
The heaviness.
the crushing seriousness of it all. You look at your bank account, you look at the news, your health data, and it all feels incredibly solid. It feels like gravity. And you feel like if you make one wrong move, one typo in an email, one missed payment, that the entire structure of your life just collapses. It's heavy. It's real.
It is terrifying. That's the experience of the finite, right? The experience of being a biological creature in a physical world.
Exactly.
Mm.
But then, and this is the weird part, sometimes maybe when you're driving alone at night or you're just really exhausted or maybe you're staring at a mountain, you get this flip.
The script flips?
Yeah, the script flips and you suddenly look at your life and think, none of this is real. You feel like you're just watching a movie.
Like a ghost in a machine.
Yeah. You think, I'm just a character in a play. The bills, the stress, the career ladder, it's all just a game. It's a dream.
Some might call that dissociation.
No?
Or, if we're being charitable, maybe detachment.
Sure, but here's the problem. We usually think we have to pick one.
Right.
I'm either the hyper-anxious, responsible adult who carries the weight of the world, or I'm the detached, floaty philosopher who doesn't care about anything because it's all an illusion anyway.
And we just bounce back and forth between those two.
Yeah.
Panic and apathy.
Yes. And that bouncing, I think that's where the suffering lives. That oscillation between everything matters too much and nothing matters at all is what just burns us out. So today, we're going to see if there's a third option. We are opening up the Kybalion again, that mysterious, somewhat arrogant little book from the early 1900s, and we're looking at chapter 6, the divine paradox.
The middle path.
We're going to try to answer the question, how do you live in a world that feels like a dream without becoming a sleepwalker who, walks right off a cliff?
A very important question.
And before we get into the heavy metaphysics, I have a job to do.
Go for it.
If this episode helps you, please hit like and subscribe for the next one.
It really does help.
It makes a huge difference. So, set the scene for us. What are we working with today?
Well, we have the Kybalion, of course. Specifically, those chapters on the paradox and this concept of the all.
Okay.
But because the Kybalion can be a bit dry, and frankly a bit high on its own supply, we'll bring in some backup.
Good. Who do we have?
We've got the Stoics, Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, who are basically wrestling with this exact same problem 2,000 years ago.
The original practitioners.
We also have some modern cognitive psychology on reframing, and then some wisdom literature on the importance of humility.
A robust stack.
Yes.
So let's start with the definitions. The chapter is called The Divine Paradox. Now, when I hear paradox, I usually think of some kind of logical riddle. But in this context, what are the three initiates actually talking about?
To really get the paradox, you have to go back to that first principle we talked about in earlier sessions, mentalism.
Right, the idea that the all is mine, the universe is mental.
Which is really just a fancy way of saying the universe is a thought.
Okay.
The core Hermetic teaching is that the entire universe, galaxies, atoms, you, me, this coffee cup, it all exists within the mind of the infinite.
So to the creator, or the all, as they call it, the universe is a mental creation.
Exactly. It's like a daydream. It's similar to when you close your eyes and imagine a castle. In your mind, that castle exists. But is it real in the same way that you are real?
No, of course not. It's a projection. It's temporary.
It's temporary. It's finite. So from the perspective of the absolute, the infinite, the universe is unreal because it changes. It has a beginning and it will have an end.
Okay, so from the perspective of let's call it the big mind, the universe is an illusion. It's not solid.
Precisely. To the infinite, only the infinite itself is truly real, with a capital R, because it's changeless and eternal. So that's side A of the coin.
And this is where people stop reading and get into a lot of trouble.
100%. This is where the half-wise, as the book calls them, are born. We have to look at side B,
Which is?
the paradox. It's that while the universe is a dream to the infinite, it is absolutely not a dream to the finite.
Meaning us.
Meaning us.
Yeah.
We are characters inside the story, And to the character, the story is reality.
The walls are hard. The fire burns.
Gravity kills. If you're a character in a novel, you can't just say, well, the author's just imagining this sword so it won't hurt me. No. Within the logic of that book, that sword is deadly.
So the divine paradox is holding these two opposing facts in your mind at the exact same time. One, the world is an illusion. Two, the world is completely real.
Yes. And the Kybalion is so specific about this. It says, I'm paraphrasing here, but something like, the universe is real to all beings who have not reached the high degree of reality.
On screen, text 1. Paradox. Reality is both dream and solid. I want to dig into this half-wise concept because the book is weirdly aggressive about this. It calls them vain and presumptuous fools.
It does.
It really feels like the authors are genuinely angry at these people.
I think they're angry because they see the damage it causes. The half-wise are the people who discover that first half of the truth, it's all a mental construct, and then they use that as an excuse to, abdicate their responsibilities.
Oh, we have all met someone like this.
Of course.
The person who's super spiritual but can't hold down a job, or ignores their debts, or treats people poorly because, hey, we're all just energy, man.
And that's distinct from genuine monasticism or asceticism, A monk leaves the world to focus on spirit. The half-wise stays in the world but just pretends the laws don't apply to them.
Right.
The Kybalion uses this very vivid image. It talks about people who walk against the rocks and are torn asunder by the elements because they reasoned that the rocks were just nature's dreams.
I love that image. It's like Wile E. Coyote running off a cliff because he thinks physics is just a suggestion.
It is exactly that. Imagine you're sleepwalking. In your dream, you're flying over the Grand Canyon. It's beautiful, right? It's just a mental projection. But your physical body is actually walking on the ledge of a 10-story building. If you step off, the law of gravity does not care about your dream.
Whoa.
You will fall. The pavement is real on the pavement's plane.
So the half-wise person is the one who says, I don't need to look both ways before crossing the street because cars are just condensed energy.
And then they get hit by a bus.
Yeah.
And the tragedy is they think they're being enlightened. They think they're demonstrating some superior knowledge. But the Kybalion says true wisdom is not in denial. It says wisdom consists in the utilization of laws, not in their violation.
Utilization, not violation. That's the key phrase right there.
That's everything. The truly wise person, they know it's a dream. They know that money is just paper and numbers. They know status is a social game.
But they play the game.
They play the game with excellence. They respect the rules of the level they're on.
It reminds me of, okay, it's like you're playing a video game. Intellectually, that the monsters on the screen are just pixels. They can't actually hurt you, the player on the couch. But if you want to win the game, you have to treat them as if they're deadly.
You have to dodge. You have to fight.
Yeah. If you just put the controller down and say, it's just code, you lose. Game over.
That is a perfect analogy. Yeah. The truly wise player is the one who is deeply immersed in the game. They're sweating, trying their hardest, but at the very back of their mind, they know.
I'm the one holding the controller.
I am not the sprite on the screen, precisely.
And that little bit of distance, that's what keeps them from smashing the TV when they lose.
That is the sanity. That's it.
So let's translate this out of the metaphorical and into the practical. When we say the divine paradox, what does that actually look like in plain English for a modern person?
It really translates to three main insights. First, reality is bigger than your concepts.
Okay, break that down.
We navigate the world using these mental maps. We have a map for marriage, a map for success, a map for safety, and we mistake the map for the territory.
Always.
Always. When the territory changes, say you lose your job, your map screams disaster. The paradox reminds you, the map is just a drawing. The reality is just an event. The disaster part is a label you applied.
So it's realizing that our internal narration, our story about what's happening, isn't the same thing as the event itself.
Yes. And that's the second insight. Language is a pointer. Words like fair, unfair, good, bad, these are human labels. They're part of the dream logic.
They're not absolute truths.
Not at all. The wise person holds these labels loosely. They don't grip them so tightly.
And the third insight?
Humility improves judgment. The Kybalion really emphasizes that we are finite. We don't see the whole board.
Right.
The half-wise person thinks they're God. The truly wise person knows they are part of God. But they're currently operating with, limited vision. That humility makes you cautious. It makes you pause before you react.
It stops you from being so damn certain that you are right and the universe is wrong.
Exactly. It creates a little wedge of silence between the event and your reaction.
Okay, I want to pivot to the second big concept here, because I think it answers a question that the paradox raises. If the world is a dream, and I'm just a character, that can feel incredibly lonely.
It can.
It can feel nihilistic, like I'm just a hologram, who cares? But the Kybalion pairs the paradox with this concept of the all-in-all.
Yes. This is the stabilizer. This is the warmth that balances out the cold logic of the paradox.
The all-in-all. It sounds like a tongue twister. What does it actually mean?
So we established that the universe is in the mind of the all. We're like thoughts in the divine mind.
Okay.
But the corollary to that, the other side, is that the all is also present in every single part of the universe.
On-screen text too. The all is in everything, including you. So God or the all or source, whatever you want to call it, isn't just out there watching the show,
No, the all is in the show.
right?
Think of that author analogy again. Shakespeare writes Hamlet. Hamlet lives in Shakespeare's mind, but Hamlet is Shakespeare.
Ah.
The wit of Hamlet is Shakespeare's wit. The pain of Hamlet is Shakespeare's pain, just localized. The author is immanent in the character. You can't find a single line of dialogue in the play that doesn't come from that source.
So the source is baked right into the cake.
The ocean is in the wave. You cannot have a wave without the water. The wave is a temporary form, but the substance of the wave is the ocean itself.
Okay, that is poetic. And it sounds nice on a Sunday morning, but I want to push back.
Please do.
How does knowing the all is in everything help me when I'm stuck in traffic behind a guy who just cut me off and I'm late for a meeting? How is that practical?
It's practical because it completely shifts your center of gravity. We call this the stabilizer.
Okay.
First, it reduces ego certainty.
Ego certainty. Is that the feeling that I am the main character and everyone else is just an NPC?
That's it exactly. When you're in traffic, your ego screams, I am the center of the universe. This person is an obstacle. They are wrong. I am right. That's a high-stress, high-conflict state.
Totally.
But if you accept the all in all, you have to admit that the spark of the infinite is in you, yes, but it is also in the guy who cut you off.
I really don't want the spark of the infinite to be in the guy driving the Hummer who just cut me off.
I know, it's annoying, isn't it?
Yeah.
But if you can accept it, you realize, I am not the soloist here. I'm part of a choir. It takes the pressure off. You don't have to dominate reality. You just have to play your part.
It sounds like it just lowers the stakes of my personal drama.
It lowers the reactivity. And this brings us right to the Stoics. Marcus Aurelius talks about the inner citadel. He says that things, events, they can't touch the soul. They are outside. If you know that your essential nature is connected to the all, that you have this substantial reality inside you, then the external chaos doesn't threaten your core existence.
It's the difference between a little boat being tossed on the waves and a submarine sitting deep below the surface.
Yes, the waves are real, the nausea is real, but deep down there's a part of you that is untouched, and that gives you the space for a chosen response.
Responsibility, the ability to respond.
Exactly. Most of us live in reaction. Stimulus reaction, poke ouch, and so the anger, the all in all reminds you, wait, I'm not just a bundle of reflexes, I'm an observer. I can choose how to play this scene.
It turns you from a pawn into a player. You're still on the board, you're still in danger maybe, but you're moving with intention.
And that is the only freedom we actually have. We don't control the board, we control the move.
I want to get into the danger zones now. We mentioned the half-wise earlier, but I want to lay out some specific guardrails. Because whenever you start talking about reality isn't real, people can get weird.
Very weird. It's high-voltage philosophy. Without insulation, you will burn yourself.
Yeah. But what do we have?
We have three main guardrails.
On-screen text 3. Wisdom uses law. It does not ignore it. Let's hear them. Guardrail 1.
No avoidance. This is the big one. You cannot use the paradox to excuse laziness or neglect. You can't say, the Goths are invading Rome, but war is an illusion, so I'm just going to stay in bed.
Marcus Aurelius literally faced this exact problem.
He did. He was the emperor. He wrote constantly about how fame is smoke, how life is a fleeting dream, how we are all dust in. But what did he do?
He got up before dawn. He led the armies.
He sat in boring court hearings for hours. He did his job.
So he didn't use his philosophy to escape his life. He used it to endure his life.
That's the perfect way to put it. He realized his role in the dream was to be a good emperor. If your role is to be a mother or an accountant or a barista, you play that role with dignity. You don't check out.
Okay. Guardrail 2.
No superiority. This is the intellectual trap.
Uh-oh.
You read the Kybalion, you listen to these conversations, and suddenly you look around at your family watching football or worrying about politics, and you think, oh, look at the sheep. They're asleep. I'm awake.
The spiritual ego. It's actually bigger and uglier than the regular ego.
It really is, and it violates the all in all. If the all is in everyone, you have no right to look down on anyone. Their role in the dream is just different from yours. True wisdom should make you more compassionate, not more aloof.
Yeah, if you find yourself feeling superior, you've definitely misunderstood the teaching.
You've gone backwards.
Right. Guardrail 3.
No denial of harm. This is the darkest one. This is where people use these kinds of ideas to justify abuse. I didn't really hurt you because you aren't real, or starvation is just an illusion.
That is just sociopathy disguised as enlightenment.
It is. Pain is real on the plane where it is felt. If you stub your toe, it hurts. You cannot metaphysics your way out of a broken leg. You have to treat the leg.
Of course.
If you see suffering in the world, you are obligated by the law of the paradox to help alleviate it on the relative plane, even while you know the absolute truth.
So we have the theory. We have the guardrails. Now we need the practice. I want to walk through some very specific scenarios. Because it's easy to be a stoic when you're sitting in a comfortable chair reading a book.
It's very easy then.
It's much harder when life is punching you in the face.
The method is always the same. Wide frame, narrow focus.
Okay, explain that.
You start with the paradox view. That's the wide shot. You remind yourself of the dream nature of reality just to lower the emotional temperature. Then you zoom in to the relative view, the close-up, and you ask, what is the next right action?
Okay, let's apply it. Scenario 1, work. It's Tuesday, you get a notification your boss wants to see you, or you hear a rumor about layoffs, the fear kicks in instantly. On-screen text 4, work. Hold the frame, do the task. The old reaction is panic. I'm going to lose my house, I'm a failure, my life is over. You're just spiraling.
That's the half-wise panic. You're drowning in the illusion. You've mistaken the map for the territory.
So step 1, the frame. What do I do?
You pause. You say to yourself, this job is a role. It is a costume I wear from 9 to 5. It is not my soul. This fear is a chemical reaction in my body. This situation is just a shifting condition in the mental universe. I am the observer behind the panic.
Ray, I've taken a breath. I'm not my job title. I'm the stable observer. Now what? I still might get fired.
Now, step 2, the action. You zoom back in. What can you actually do right now? You can update your resume. You can finish the report that's due today. You can walk into that meeting with your head held high and a notebook in your hand. You do the practical, mundane things, but you do them without the existential dread.
You wash the dishes, but you don't drown in the water.
Perfect. That's it.
Scenario 2, relationships. This is where I struggle. A conflict with a partner. They say something sharp, or they forget to do something they promised.
Yeah.
On-screen text 5, relationships. Drop the story, keep the connection. The old reaction is the ego story. They don't respect me. They always do this. I need to fight back to prove I matter.
You're fighting for survival on the lower plane. You're trying to defend a fortress made of clouds.
So what's the frame?
The frame is, this anger is a wave. It is temporary. My story about their motive, that they hate me, is just a story. It is not the whole truth. The all is in them, just as it is in me. We are two expressions of the same source having a momentary friction.
That is hard to do when you're mad.
It is incredibly hard.
Yeah.
But if you can do it for just 3 seconds, it changes everything. It allows you to move to the action, which is drop the sword, ask a question. Hey, that hurt. What did you mean by that? Or set a boundary. I'm too heated to talk right now. I need 10 minutes. You respond to the relationship, not the insult.
Scenario 3, habits. Perfectionism. I want to start writing or working out, but I'm paralyzed because I know I won't be good at it immediately.
Yes.
On-screen text 6, habits. Release perfection, choose consistency.
Perfectionism is a misunderstanding of the relative world. We want the relative world to be absolute. We want it to be flawless, eternal, unchangeable.
But it isn't.
It isn't. It's messy. It's in flux.
So the frame is admitting that I'm messy.
The frame is, perfection is a static concept. Reality is a dynamic process. I have a finite being in a process of becoming. Stumbling is part of the script. It's allowed.
And the action.
Humble consistency. You do one small proof action. You don't try to write the novel. You write one sentence.
Right.
You don't try to run a marathon. You put on your shoes. You ground the high ideal into a tiny, concrete, physical reality.
Humble consistency. I like that. It takes the arrogance out of it. It's not about being the best. It's just about showing up.
Showing up is the ultimate spiritual practice, the half-wise dream of showing up. The truly wise actually show up.
I want to give the listener a specific tool to do this. Because when the stress hits, you're not going to remember a 20-minute philosophy lecture. You need a reflex.
Mm-hmm.
We're calling this the paradox to practice reset.
This is a cognitive protocol. It's 7 quick steps. You can do this in about 60 seconds once you learn it.
Okay, walk us through it. Imagine I'm feeling overwhelmed right now.
Okay. Step 1. Pause and soften the body. Stop moving. Drop your shoulders. Unclench your jaw. You have to signal to your biology that you are not being hunted by a tiger.
Got it. Step 2.
Name the facts in neutral language.
Yeah.
Strip away all the adjectives. So instead of, my boss sent a nasty, unfair, toxic email, you just say,
I received an email with bold text and 3 exclamation points.
exactly, just the data, no drama.
Step 3.
Name the story you are adding. This is metacognition. You say, the story I am telling myself is that I am incompetent and unsafe. You are separating the event from your interpretation of it.
Okay. Step 4.
Say the frame line. This is the divine paradox in action. Say out loud or in your head, my words are not the whole reality. Or this is a mental wave. Remind yourself that the map is not the territory.
On-screen text 7. Pause. Name. Frame. Act. Release. Step 5.
Choose the response you want to practice. This is about intentionality. Ask, who do I want to be right now? Do I want to be the reactive child or the wise adult?
Step 6.
Choose one proof action you will do now. Ground it in reality. Drink a glass of water. Send a simple reply. Do 5 jumping jacks. Prove to your brain that you have agency in the physical world.
And step 7.
Release the need to force outcomes. This is surrender to the all. You've done your part. You've made your move on the chessboard. Now you have to let the other player move. You trust the script.
Pause. Name. Frame. Act. Release. It's simple, but really cuts through the noise.
It just breaks the loop. That's all we're trying to do. Break that loop of automatic panic.
Before we wrap up, I want to troubleshoot. We've talked about the half-wise, but are there other common misunderstandings? Where do smart, well-intentioned people get this wrong?
Oh yeah, there are a few traps. One we see constantly is the sort of law of attraction trap. The idea that I can control reality with my mind instantly.
I thought about a Ferrari, so where is it?
Right. People hear the universe is mental and they think it's magic. But they forget the law of gender and gestation. Ideas take time to manifest in density. You can plant a seed in your mind instantly, but you still have to water the soil, pull the weeds, and wait for the season to change. It's influence, not instant sorcery.
Okay. What's another misunderstanding?
If I have negative thoughts, I am failing.
Oh, this creates so much anxiety.
It does. People think, oh no, I had a doubt, I ruined the manifestation, the universe is going to punish me.
Toxic positivity, you become afraid of your own brain.
That's it. The correction is, thoughts are just vibrations. You are the observer of the thoughts, not the creator of every single one. If a negative thought comes, just look at it. Say, oh, there's a fear vibration. Don't judge it, transmute it, let it pass. You're the sky. The thought is just a cloud.
Right. What's the third one?
I should repress my emotions to be stoic.
The Spock fallacy.
Yes. People think holding the paradox means being a robot. I'm sad, but sadness is an illusion, so I will stuff it down and pretend I'm fine.
And then 3 months later, they have a meltdown in a Starbucks.
Always. True composure isn't the absence of emotion. It's the processing of emotion through a higher frame.
Yeah.
You feel the grief. You let it rip. But you don't let it become your identity. You don't build a house in the grief.
On-screen text 8. You are the player, not the pawn. Okay, misunderstanding 4.
This is too abstract to be useful.
I get that. I mean, we are talking about the all and infinite minds. It can sound like philosophy class.
But the correction is, this is the most useful tool you have. Because without it, you're wasting, what, 80% of your energy fighting things you cannot control. You're burning fuel worrying about the weather.
It's an energy conservation strategy.
The paradox prevents burnout. It is highly practical.
It's efficiency for the soul.
Precisely.
We have covered a massive amount of ground here, from the infinite mind all the way down to a specific email in your inbox. Let's recap. If someone was zoning out, what are the key things they need to take away?
Okay, here's the synthesis. First, the divine paradox is the ability to hold 2 truths. The world is a dream to the infinite, yet we must live in it earnestly as finite beings.
Right.
Second, the half-wise deny reality and suffer. The wise use higher laws to navigate it. Third, the all in all means you are never disconnected from the source of strength. It is within you right now.
That's a comforting one.
Fourth, humility is the gateway to wisdom because it admits our view is limited. Fifth, we must avoid that trap of spiritual bypassing or arrogance. Sixth, practical application means widening your mental frame to find peace, then narrowing your focus to take action.
And finally,
Seventh, the real power lies in that space between the stimulus and the chosen response.
that is the toolkit. And honestly, just practicing that pause, just finding that 1 second of space, that feels like a life's work.
It is, but it is the most rewarding work you can do. It's the difference between being a victim of your life and being the author of it.
Next time, we're going to dive into another principle that explains how our inner world shapes our outer world. You hear it all the time on Instagram, as within, so without. But we're going to look at what that actually means mechanically.
We are. Episode 7, Correspondence. We're going to look at the mirror mechanism of the universe, how your messy desk might be a reflection of your messy mind, and how feedback loops actually work.
On-screen text 9 next.
As within, so without. I have a feeling I am going to be cleaning my office before that conversation.
Internal and external cleaning, yes. Thanks for being here. If you want the full series, check the playlist and please like and subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. On-screen text 10. Classic Mosaic truth.